When people are receiving prevailing wages, you're not just helping out the employer by getting a construction project done, but you're helping that family, you're helping that worker to build a middle-class lifestyle, and that is provide home ownership, college opportunities, investment, pension, security.
Prevailing wage is a minimum wage for construction work that's publicly funded. The prevailing wage in California is basically the union wage set forth in a collective bargaining agreement.
It all boils down to who can do the job more efficiently, do it right the first time, and make sure they're not undercutting the worker, because that's the only place where you could actually cut your price. It would be on the worker's wages.
What it means to create a level playing field is to make sure that everyone pays the same wages on the public works projects. So one contractor can't unfairly lower his bid by paying his employees less than prevailing wage.
Out-of-state contractor or out-of-area contractor cannot come into a locality and pay a lesser rate to their employees.
When projects are built by individuals that have had experience and training, you get a better product, and we are able to save money because those projects are completed even sometimes before the time span that has been allowed for a project to be built.
So when you're dealing with prevailing wage public works projects, you're a good contractor. You're choosing to do the right thing by paying workers good wages, providing benefits, providing apprenticeship requirements. You can't compete against that contractor that's choosing to game the system, that is presenting a bid with numbers that are coming from exploiting and cheating workers.
I had two brothers in construction and in the trades, and I had a father who was a Teamster. It extracted a lot from them mentally and physically, and from our family. I know that those were great sacrifices that these people make. So I value that. I value their work.
When we have a high wage earning society, we have the ability to improve our public buildings. We can build more schools, more hospitals, more playgrounds, repair our roads. It all comes back around.
I was hired to work at a local university to help build a cafeteria. Okay, I was contacted by a labor broker also called Coyote. What I found out was that I was getting paid one amount, but the company was getting paid a different amount for my service. Once I found that out, I asked for a raise, and that led me to being fired.
So these are projects where in some trades you need hundreds of workers. And if you don't have access to a lot of workers, you need to work with labor brokers. And those labor brokers are controlling that workforce, and a lot of that involves getting cash.
This project was a library. On this project, all the workers were paid in cash. The labor broker scams most of the money that's for us, and he puts it in his pocket, sir. All of our workers were cheated of our wages and our benefits.
We see a lot of wage theft. There can be a number of different schemes. There's cash pay, so there's no money given to payroll taxes, as well as the worker himself not being paid the minimum wage that's required on public works jobs.
Besides being underpaid, I was just getting one break per day. I wasn't getting medical for my eyes. I wasn't getting medical for my teeth, for no insurance whatsoever.
I couldn't get any healthcare insurance for my son. I had to find another way to get him covered. I have to take him to the doctor, to the dentist. He's still little, so it affected me. It affected me because sometimes I had to pay cash for the consultations.
Wage theft in the construction industry is prevalent, especially in the non-union sector, and it affects the most vulnerable workers in the industry. Basically, the people that an unscrupulous employer can take advantage of.
You have kickback schemes where contractors will pay them the prevailing rate on the check, go down to the bank with the worker and make them kick back $12 an hour cash to them.
In many times I had to reimburse him money from the checks that I would be getting from him. I would go to a specific liquor store in LA and I would cash the check. I would get the amount that belonged to me, and the rest I would hand it to him.
When we actually interview a worker whose wages have been stolen, the first thing out of their mouth is, he's a really nice guy. I don't want anything to happen to him. Okay, well, this man who's smiling and being nice to you is stealing your money every week, and you think he's your friend just because he's smiling at you.
Part of why we're seeing a lot of exploitation in the construction industry is linked to the fact that this is a predominantly immigrant workforce. A lot of the workers are just trying to make a living, and they're nervous about their situation, so they're able to put up with a lot of conditions that they should not be putting up with.
Christmas was around the corner. I always bring my kids presents, so I didn't want to let them down. That's why I stayed on this job, even though I knew I was cheated. I don't believe in welfare. I don't believe in none of that. I believe in the working man, sir. You know? So that's why sometimes we just do it, to be honest.
I think what's important is that it doesn't just happen in the private industry. So we saw it happening on state projects and even with school districts. This is money that is provided by the public through taxpayers, and we're entrusted as elected officials to be the stewards of those funds.
The prevalence of wage theft in California is really enormous. Last year alone, the Center for Contract Compliance filed 400 complaints that recovered over $8 million in wages.
It's white-collar crime, and it's hard to get people to take notice, but the Orange County DA has done that, because at the end of the day, these contractors need to be punished for what they're doing.
Also, the labor brokers had me fill out these W-4 forms, 12 of them, for me to make up social security numbers, fake names.
Some of these contractors have received a year in jail, 2 years in jail, 3 years in jail. We had one foreman that was actually sentenced to 7 years in jail. I would rather have somebody stick a gun in my face and be robbed once than have my pension taken or my wages being stolen every week, which impacts my way of life, my family's way of life every week.
We as Americans have come to expect a standard of living, and we deserve that standard of living. You can't make it in this society working for minimum wages. Middle-class workers, high wages, good benefits are what America is based on.
We're the guys that get up in the morning and build the infrastructure, from buildings to roads to rail. Construction workers have had their hands on, and they deserve some recognition for that. It's a dangerous job, and I just want the public to recognize that and understand that these people are putting their lives on the line so we can have a better future.
I'm a good worker, and I earn my money with good decency, and I get up every day for my kids to have a better life than I did. That's what I want. I want a better life for my kids and my nieces and my nephew. That's what I want. Hopefully there will be justice. There will be justice for people like me.